Hey gang, Chef Cutting here. I have a great recipe for you. It's the meatball and mushroom casserole. And this is to die for. This food item is so easy to prepare. We're going to be making everything in the microwave. And it's going to take us less than 15 minutes to prepare the actual casserole, which is unheard of. But don't believe me. When we put this all together, you're going to see it and you won't believe it. We got all these natural things that come right out of anybody's kitchen, so you're not fumbling around trying to find things. I promise you, you're really going to love this one. Let's get my test kitchen. Let's make meatballs and mushroom casserole. Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my kitchen. We're going to make a great recipe here using nothing but the microwave. This is going to be meatball and mushroom casserole. It's a mushroom meatball casserole that is really, really good and very easy to prepare. I'm going to go through the list of ingredients right now. We have 2 medium potatoes. We have 1 pound of ground chuck. We have a chopped onion, which I'm just going to chop and dice. We have 1 tablespoon of parsley, 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, a half a teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, and then we have 2 tablespoons of water, 1 can of mushroom soup, use whichever one you like, and a 1/4 cup of milk. We take all these items, we're going to mix them together, then we're going to formulate our wonderful meatballs and then put them into the microwave while cooking the vegetables separately. So without further ado, let's get started with this wonderful meatball casserole. Okay, we're going to put the potatoes in a 1-quart casserole. When you have a potato that's bigger than the other, just take the potato and just cut it in half so that everything cooks evenly. It's best to do that. You know, most of the time you can find potatoes both the same size, but in the event that happens, I'd like to show you that for now. Go ahead and put this in the microwave now for 4.5 minutes at high, or until the potatoes are tender to the touch. So let's go do that now. While the potatoes are cooking, we're going to go ahead and dice up our onion real quick, and we're just going to cut the sides off. This is the best way to do it, and then cut it in half like so. So you're always using a level surface when you're cutting. The easiest way to cut your fingers is to not use a level surface. Take the first membrane off the top like so, and then we'll just go ahead and move all of that to one side. I'll show you a little trick here. You want to just take the knife, run it through like so, run it through like so, run it through like so. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Look at that. You have diced onions. Okay, we're going to take the egg now. We're just going to drop that in a bowl real quick. We're going to beat that up so it's nice and mixed, so that when we're ready to mix all the ingredients together, we got a nice beaten up yolk inside that wonderful whole egg. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take all these ingredients here, and we are going to go ahead and place them in a large stainless steel bowl or any kind of mixing bowl you may have. Mix the whole mixture together, and then we're ready to make our meatballs. Potatoes should be ready, so we're going to add that to the mixture too and have a really nice meatball to get started with our casserole. So let's get started. Okay, I've added my onions. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add my meat. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my breadcrumbs. Going to add my milk, my parsley, and my egg to bind it. Now I would say use a spatula or anything else, but right now we're going to add the potatoes and use our hands. Whoa! There's the potatoes, so let's put those in. Now when you see your potatoes, the fork should sink right into them so you know they're tender. Once they're tender, you can go ahead and add them into the mix. Now it's time to just mash it all up. Make sure your potatoes fall apart like this. See how easily that happens? I like to keep the skins in there. You don't like the skins? They can easily come off. Once you start mashing, you can just pull the skins right out. But I like the skins, so we're going to leave those in there. Skins are good for you. So you're just going to keep mixing all this up until it gets into a nice, wonderful, and purple mixture. Like I said,
Once your hands can take it and the temperature comes down from those potatoes, you can start using your hands to really make this awesome meatball mixture into meatballs. The amount of meatballs you should be able to make is about 12 portions. And once you make those 12 portions, you can go ahead and use those portions in the next step of the recipe. Okay, when we're ready to make the meatball, we're just going to take a good nice piece, probably about 3 ounces, 4 ounces worth, and you make a sized meatball like that. We're going to make about 12 of them, so let's get busy. Okay, as you can see here, we have our 12 evenly divided meatballs. What we're going to do is we're going to use that same microwavable container that we had before, and we're going to take 2 to 3 of these meatballs and make them in box shapes at the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take this meatball here, and we're going to push it like that and make it into like a square, and we're going to place that in the bottom like so. So we have 3 more there. It'll probably take us 3 in this to put all on the bottom. So we're going to do that right now. As you can see, there it is. They're squished around. You got about 3 in a box shaped fashion on the bottom here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put the rest of them into the dish, and then we're going to cook in the microwave for about 6 minutes. Once we've done that, I'll show you what we're going to do next. Just like that. Meatballs. Love it. So as you can see, I've drained the grease from the meatballs. Very important that you drain it all out completely so there's no more grease to be had there, because you don't want the grease actually in the casserole once you add the soup. So we have here our meatballs. What we're going to go do now is we're going to combine the mushroom, soup, and water to the mixture. We want to cover the meatballs with the soup, and the reason why I add the water to the meatballs at the end is because the soup will of course coagulate and reduce. So we want to add some water in there just to make sure that that water gets permeated into the casserole and allows the soup to boil without us having any problems with losing the coverage over the meatballs. We got this one lowly meatball, but that's because I just had some really gargantuan meatballs I made, so we'll just let him sit on the top. We're going to pour this up, and now we're going to put, I'm going to cover this. I'm going to put it back in the microwave for another 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to plate up this wonderful casserole. Here we go. Remember, the plate's going to be very, very hot. And you can smell that goodness. Look at that. That is wonderful. All from a microwave, too. Use a pair of tongs. I'm going to serve this up. And take my meatballs right out of the sauce. Just like that. Oh, look at that. Look at these meatballs. Manischewitz, as my father would say. And they just keep their form too. They look really, really good. And of course you can serve it right out of the bowl too, but I'm doing this to be a little more dramatic. And I'm going to put a little bit of the gravy on there. And I have a nice little garnish I'm going to put on here too. I chopped up some basil there. But yep, we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of that gravy out of the... Look at that, folks. Doesn't that look marvelous? Okay, and so then I'm going to take that nice, wonderful julienne cut basil that I made here. And I'm just going to chiffon cut that and drop that on the top of these awesome meatballs and mushroom. And we have got ourselves here, ladies and gentlemen, an incredible meatball and mushroom casserole ready for service. Bon appetit.